Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to have a look at an example on our MTPredictor scripts for trading review. In this example, looking at an Indian trade setup on the BankNifty. But as usual, we start with our risk disclaimer and just remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken, they're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing, or put another way, all professional traders know and understand that it doesn't matter what trading approach you take, there always will be losing trades. It doesn't matter what trading approach there will be, there always will be losing trades. Alright, let's have a look at a 3-minute chart of the BankNifty. The trade setup I want to look at is this one here, the wave 3 on buy setup down here. For those of you who are new to MTPredictor, just want to stress that we are not a black box system. We don't take all our setups blindly, perhaps in the direction of our MTP trend color. The reason for this is that we know and understand that markets are random about half the time. In other words, 50% of the time you shouldn't be doing any kind of analysis because the market pattern is not clear. So how do we decide when the pattern's clear? Well, for this we go to the higher time frame chart. This is a time frame between 3 and 5 time frames higher. So if you're on a 3-minute chart, you'd go out to the 15-minute chart. If you're on a daily, you'd perhaps go out to the weekly chart. And what we do is we place our DP or our decision point levels on the chart. For this we go to our decision point script, which is here. We double click on it and we can place these off previous pivots to show areas of support and resistance in advance. I'm just going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4 pivots back and show you how they're on the chart in advance. So from this pivot high, can you see how this resistance level is on the chart before the market even gets there? It's on there in advance. So what I want to show you is what the level would have been coming off this pivot, previous pivot down here. So I'm just going to take the pivots back to 7 pivots back, which is this pivot here. So this would have projected a level on your chart in advance. In other words, before the market got down there. In other words, when the market was up here, before it even got there, this support level would have been on your chart ready. It would have been there ready for you. I'm just going to draw a little box around that so we keep it on the chart. There it is. Just going to perhaps put some text in the box there so we know what it is, and I'm just going to lock it. So that would have been on the chart in advance. So as you can see, it caught the low very nicely. If I just go back into this and go back a little bit in time as well. Off that pivot, can you see how that would have caught the high as well? So if I draw another rectangle, remember that would have been on the chart in advance, okay? So before the BankNifty even got up to this level, in other words, as it was rallying here, this DP would have been off this high here, so that resistance level would have been on the chart in advance. So can you see how it would have projected potential areas of support and resistance on your chart in advance? That's the most important thing. So these levels are here before the market even gets there. Right, I just want to turn the DP off and now come back down to our 3-minute chart. So as you can see, I'm just going to take that back a little bit so it's not quite in our way. As you can see, it actually caught the low absolutely beautifully. So this is what we're looking for when we deem is the market pattern clear. Nicely came off the high there as well. Is what we're doing is we're looking to see whether the market is making a reversal at our anticipated levels. If it is, we deem the market is doing what we anticipate, therefore the market pattern is clear. So this then gauged support. So after this, we were anticipating the market was going to rally, which it did, and therefore we'd be looking for our buy setups. Our MTP trend went from grey to show you in the process of making a reversal to blue to show it's going up, therefore you should be looking for buy setups. So you would be ignoring this sell setup here. There was a VS buy setup here. This wouldn't have been a good one to take because if you look at the help documents for VS, a VS is a volume spike or a fake out beyond an important psychological high or low. So this one was only a fake out beyond this minor low, therefore would not be one that you consider. So even though it's on the chart, this wouldn't be a good VS setup to take. So the best trade setup to consider would have been this W3 or wave 3 trade setup. So let's go and place the analysis on it. So for this, how many pivots back is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pivots back, which we have there. It's 1 bar off the pivot. Can you see the blue buy bar is 1 bar off the pivot low? That pivot low there is on a grey bar, which is a neutral bar. The blue buy bar came 1 bar after that. So we then do analyze trade setup, and this places our analysis on the chart for us. Oh, I've got to go 1 more pivot back because it's created an extra pivot there. And as you can see, this would have given us then a potential long trade. The market then rallied nicely to our projected profit target, which the market has just hit very nicely here. But the reason we like our W3 or wave 3 trade setups is because these are trying to catch a potential wave 3 in the market. In Elliott wave terms, the wave 3 is normally the strongest and longest in a completed 5-wave sequence. So what we do is we start our Elliott wave sequence at our higher time frame support. We do this because we use our Elliott waves in isolation. This is a unique approach we've developed over the last 20 years in developing MTPredictor. So we start here. The initial move up would be wave 1. We're then looking for an ABC correction into a wave 2 low, which is our wave 3 trade setup, because we're then looking to trade the wave 3 swing. And there, as you can see, this then produced a nice profit of approximately 6.4, or just under 6.5 times the initial risk. That's why we like these trade setups, because the profits are usually large, not just in dollars or rupees or whatever account currency you're trading in. They're large in relation to the initial risk or the losses that come through when the trade setups go wrong. Remember, trade setups will always produce losses. It's not about avoiding losses, it's about when the losses come through, the losses are kept small, in this case at 1R or 1 risk unit. But when the profits come through, we're hoping to have profits that are large, again not just in dollars or rupees or whatever currency you're trading, they're large in risk reward units, i.e. in relation to the losses that come through or the initial risk on the initial trade. So as you can see, this was a very nice trade where we caught the low absolutely perfectly with our 15-minute DP support zone. The market then rallied up. Our MTP trend confirmed that, going blue. We're then looking for taking a buy setup in the direction of that new trend, and as you can see, that gave us a lovely trade setup there. So this is what we're looking for with our MTPredictor scripts. Remember, we're not a black box system where you blindly take all the trade setups all the time. The idea is to filter the trade setups because market patterns are random just over half the time. Therefore, half the time the market pattern is not clear at all. So what we're looking to do is use our DP support and resistance levels on the higher time frame chart, which is what you saw earlier in the video, that allows you to project higher time frame support and resistance levels. When the market makes reversals off these levels, as you can see it did here and it did here, we then gauge that the large degree trend is clear. We then look to take trade setups on the shorter time frame charts in the direction of that new large degree trend. And as you can see, a great example here unfolded earlier today on a 3-minute chart of the BankNifty.